Unfortunately, I'm not sure if anything phases these fucking guys, especially like the main core four, but we'll see. I would love to see a little bit of Draisaitl, eh? Pissy.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of that with these guys. Like, just when's the last time you saw a Leafs player? Like, obviously, the Oilers are fucking shit. They are in the tank. They are sinking like a fucking stone. Like, I don't know what they are in their last. They are just atrocious, really. So, is that what it takes for you to show some kind of gumption? Like, the Leafs aren't there. Let's not, we're not talking about the Titanic here quite yet. We got a long ways to go. The season's not even halfway. We're not quite at the halfway point yet, right?
No, but that would be a big drop. The Oilers are second last in the Pacific. They are just above the Kraken.
I think they were first place on December 1st.
Yeah, well, now Vegas is in first with 48 points, and Oilers are 10 points behind at 38. It's really close in that division. A few wins, and they could jump into third.
Okay. Well, anyway, so the whole thing with the reporter and Draisaitl, and he's, why are you pissy and all this? Like,
that was the best.
I know, but like, what are you, like, fucking pissy? Are you kidding me? Why are we pissy? We haven't won a game since fucking the 1st of December. Why do you think I'm fucking pissy? Like, my team sucks and my goalie can't make a fucking save. Like, do you watch the games?
We're 2-6-2 in our last 10, and we've lost six. Fuck. We've lost 6 in a row. Like, and he wasn't even pissy.
No, not
the guy's like, what do you need to work on to get better? We need to work on everything. Why are you so pissy with me, Leon?
Yeah.
Stop being pissy with me. What was it? What's his name, that reporter?
Jim Matheson or something like that.
Yeah. I got a pissy for you, Jim.
Look, but here, bringing it back to the Leafs here. Like, I mean, let's not get carried away here. I don't like the way this is trending with the blowing leads. They got to stop that. But, I wouldn't mind a little bit more like, Jack was kind of wearing some of it. He's not super happy with his play. You can kind of see in the post games. He's a little pissy.
Yeah. He said I will be better.
And Keefe was a little pissy, but the big boys, Nylander, Matthews, Marner, whatever. Some of those guys didn't even
same old song and dance.
That's it, right? You wouldn't know if they won 8-1 or lost 8-1. Those guys doing media after the game, because it's stone faced. They don't show. It's like, do they care if they like really win? I'm sure they like winning, but does it really bother them if they lose? If they get embarrassed, they keep blowing leads. Like, what's going on? Is it like what are you saying? It's my fault? Like, do we have a Phil Kessel situation here? Like, what are you trying to say? It's my fault? Like, no one thinks it's their fault. Like, it's
that's somebody getting pissy.
Yeah.
What are you saying? It's my fault?
Fest, Chuck, and Kessel. That was the fucking best thing ever.
Yeah, I don't. What are you trying to say? This guy's an idiot over here.
Phil, like, they're like, what do you like? They got the coach fired. Like, they say are you a difficult player to coach, Phil? Are you difficult to coach?
On Overdrive,
a fucking idiot here.
On Overdrive, they always play that clip.
Yeah.
And yet Dave Feschuk is like always guest hosting, and he's the idiot.
I know.
He's the one that Kessel's calling the idiot.
I thought it was a valid question. I don't mind Feschuk fucking whatever, but
no, Phil was being pissy. You want to call a guy pissy? He was being pissy. What Leon Draisaitl said was not pissy.
No.
I don't know.
But bringing it back to the Leafs, like, I don't mind Draisaitl. Like, if I'm an Oilers fan, does that Draisaitl muck up with the reporter like mean anything to me? No, because the team is shit on the ice. But like, Draisaitl's still an unbelievable player. But just the emotion, like, just showing that he's pissed off is what I'm trying to say here. And the Leafs, like I said, they're not sinking like the Oilers, but it hasn't been going well this road trip, I would say, for most of these dudes. And like, you just don't see that type of. There's not a lot of emotion there.
It hasn't been going well, but this is how good we have it in Toronto right now. This is how good we have it. They got a point in Colorado. They beat Vegas. They beat St. Louis. They lost to Arizona. They lost to the Rangers. Not a bad road trip. Like, you got a majority of the points.
It's not over yet. We got one more to go, but
the way they've played.
Did they get the majority of the points though? So how many points were on the table there? Colorado, Vegas, Arizona, St. Louis, and New York. So possible 10 points. What did they come away with?
5.
Okay, so there
You got 5 of 10, so it's average.
500.
Like you say, they could have been 0. They could have been 0-5.
Yeah.
Then we would have problems.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
but they've picked up 5 points. So.
Okay, so bringing it to Keith's post game, like you were mentioning, back to the drawing board. So, do you want to know what went down at Leafs practice today? After that loss last night, do you know what went down at Leafs practice today? You know,
no, I wasn't there.
Do you know what they were working on? Do you know what they were working on at Leafs practice today?
Power play,
skill development.
Oh, okay.
Skill development. Okay, does that like sound alarm bells for you or no? Or is that just typical fucking Leafs fucking, oh no, let's get back to skill and development. Let's not worry about like, tightening things up defensively or possibly playing a little grittier, maybe not running away like little fucking pussies when the game gets physical, because that always fucking happens with these fucking guys. Game gets a little bit rough. They just go the fuck, not interested. Check, please. Get me the fuck out of here.
Does that always happen though?
Yeah.
Or is it just when they lose and that happens, it gets under your skin? Because I know I've seen this team play plenty of games where it's been super physical and they have been engaged and won the game.
I can't.
But when games like this happen,
okay,
like this happen, I feel like it brings out this old man mentality in Leaf fans where they're like, every time they get hit, they run to the corner crying like babies.
Dude, their own fucking coach after the game called them soft. Their own fucking coach.
Last night, they were soft, but I'm not going to paint them as every time the game gets physical, Seriously? They go crying. I don't think that's
Can you name me one time when that has not happened?
I've seen it. I've seen it a bunch of times. It happens all the time. They play against.
I could literally give you 10 examples of when it has happened. Can you give me?
It's always in a loss.
Well, yeah, it's always in a loss.
Because those are the things that stick in you.
But anytime that it gets, well, yeah, okay, that's fair enough. But I can't think of a game like specifically. Okay, last night, obviously, I'll go back to the Winnipeg game earlier this season when it was probably the most physical game of the year. What the fuck happened there?
Yeah, but that game, remember the refs and everything? That game was a fucking whitewash.
But I'm trying to think of like, usually, it's just my opinion. They don't like the physical game. And usually
I don't know, but I don't think it was a physical thing last night. I think they didn't want to play. Like they didn't want to do the little things you have to do.
And don't
like
get me wrong, I don't think they played a terrible game overall. I think there was bits and pieces, like mainly defensively, team defense, their actual 6 defensemen and their goalie, not good enough. But
yes, that was the game. And the team, structurally, they just didn't play good. They were giving up the puck, turning it over and stuff. But this idea that they take a body check and they just quit, bullshit.
Okay, but it's coming. Okay, but that meant, okay, so what do you think Keith is just what? Why is he saying that then?
Because they were soft. They were soft. They were mentally and physically soft. They weren't engaged. They didn't want to play. He's watching it. They're not back checking. They're trying to instead of going into the corners and doing things, they're trying to do fancy little passes. How many times in their own end did they try and pass it up the middle instead of just fucking getting it out? Like soft, stupid hockey is what Keefe was talking about.
Okay.
But, they could play the Islanders in a really physical game on Saturday and a really up-tempo game and win the game. And no one's going to give them props for being a hard-hitting team. Like they're never going to be a physical team. They're never going to be known like the big bad Toronto Maple Leafs.
No, and ultimately that could, and I'm not even looking for that. Just give me some type of don't be a pussy. Just how about that?
Yeah.
Don't be a fucking pussy.
And
you're playing professional hockey. You're not playing fucking.
That's fine. And they need to learn. They need to be better.
We're not baking fucking cookies on a Sunday afternoon. Okay.
No. And they weren't. Last night they deserve that criticism. My point is they don't deserve it all the time. They don't deserve to be painted as pussies all the time. They're one of the best teams in the NHL. And
okay, great. But their reputation precedes them, man. Like, look at the track record here. So it's very easy for Leafs fans to go to usually when things get tough, they kind of disappear. Hey there, thank you very much for watching the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you want to listen to the audio version of our podcast, we are available on Apple, Spotify, and all other podcast platforms. You can check in the description below for links to our social media, as well to our Patreon page if you want to support the podcast. We will be bringing you the best Maple Leafs content all season long, right here only on the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast.